And today we're back to another book, and it's a Disney book like Pocahontas and Little Mischief, or December 3rd, 2020, or December 8th, 2020. It was supposed to be Pocahontas and Little Mischief, but I kind of messed up the title, so go check that out. And this is A Bug's Life, a very brave troop. A very brave troop. Because I think that's her name. A very brave troop. Princess Dot's Blue Benny troop was having its weekly meeting. Just then, Dot's friend Flick stopped by. He was a grown-up, but he and the little princess got along famously. If you want excitement, Flick said, just start with a new idea. Dot smiled. I know. Let's go camping at Clover Hill, she suggested. But they had needed the Queen's permission. The Queen thought the blueberries were too young to go camping by themselves. They'll bring Alfie, Dot suggested, pointing to her mother's pet. I'm afraid that's not enough, the Queen told her daughter. I'll go with them, Flick volunteered. The Queen hesitated. Flick's big ideas sometimes got him in trouble. Still, she knew the trip was important to the blueberries. So she finally agreed. The blueberries cheered. They couldn't wait to go. Dot and the rest of the blueberries met Flick. The very next morning, they were ready to begin their journey. Look, everyone, said Flick. I've created a flat raft to get us to Clover Hill. The blueberries put on life vests and eagerly got into the raft. Soon they were on their way. After a while, Dot saw rapids ahead. How do we steer this thing? She asked Flick. Steer? Said Flick. Well, I'm glad you asked. He picked up the twig and put one end in the water. Then he began to move the boat with it. Wow, Flick, you think of everything, said Dot, smiling. Before long, they arrived at Clover Hill. shore, the Blueberries troop found a safe place to camp. They looked for food. When they looked for food and seed, Flick explained to the food they had found. Not everything in nature is good for you, like those berries you're about to eat, Flick said. They are not spicy and hot. They are spicy and hot. Luckily, Dot had found some raspberries, and Flick had found some flower seeds. They sat down and began to eat. This is fun, Dot said. I'm glad we came. Suddenly, Ralphie started to make a lot of noise. What's wrong, Alfie? The princess asked. She whistled and he came running. And other blueberries looked around, but they didn't see anything unusual. I'm sure it's nothing, said Dot. He probably just misses my mom. Let's go look for more raspberries, Tinny suggested. Okay, said Flick, but first we should hide our stuff. We can leave Ralphie behind to guard it. When the ants had hidden everything, Dot gave Ralphie a hug. We'll be back soon, she told him. Blueberries didn't know, but at that very moment, the grasshoppers were approaching. That's what Ralphie had been trying to tell them. The grasshoppers were scary creatures. Grasshopper, his brother Molt, and their friend Thumper were flying over the forest. Hey, cried Molt, I see a good place to land. He led the others to the exact spot Blueberries had chosen for their campsite. Look what we found, called Molt. Just then they landed. He held up Ralphie. I'm not interested in a little Ralphie, snapped Hopper. I'm sorry this is taking so long to read this little book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 pages and it's really, really long. Alright. Can you handle it? Can you? Okay. If you want a shorter book, go to my channel and go through my Dreamy Jones books. Okay, let's get back to this. But Molt thought that Ralphie was cute, he quickly trapped Ralphie under a nutshell. Then he and Thumper set off to search for food for Hopper. Near the berry patch, Flick looked up at the sun. It's getting late, he said. We should head back. But just before they reached the campsite, Flick and Blueberries stopped short. There were tracks in the dirt. Grasshoppers, Flick exclaimed. Maybe we should go home, as the Blueberries were about to head back to the colony. Dot stopped them. Hey! She cried. What about Ralphie? Flick crawled over to some bushes and peeked at their campsite. Hopper was napping in the very spot where Dot had left Ralphie. It was too dangerous to get him. But then Flick saw a nutshell hopping across the ground. Ralphie must be under the shell, he thought. Flick reported back to the troop. How can we save Ralphie? Asked Dot. We we've got something that grasshoppers don't, Flick said. We have big ideas. Then the grasshopper, Then he gathered the girls together to make a plan. A little while later, Molt and Thumper returned to the campsite with some food. After eating, Molt went to play with his new pet. But when Molt lifted the nutshell, Ralphie heard a noise. It was Dot's whistle. The grasshopper didn't know what it was, but Ralphie did. The aphid ran away from Molt as fast as his legs could carry him. As soon as Ralphie was safe, Flick and the Blueberries started to roll rocks down the hill. The rocks slammed into more rocks. Before long, dozens of them were headed right at Molt. The rocks hit him one after another. Bam, 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 and knocked him over. Whoa, he cried. Molt slowly pulled himself out of from under the rocks. But soon Molt saw a sign that said free berries, really tasty. He scooped up a bunch and took them to his brother. The grasshoppers bit right into them. Ah, these are... they all screamed. The berries were the super hot ones Flick had warned the girls about. The grasshoppers ran to the river and plunged their heads into slurping the cold water. Meanwhile, Flick and the Blue Bears and Ralphie decided to sneak out of their hiding place and headed back to the ant island. Back at home, Dot and the Blueberries told the Queen about their adventure. "You should have seen them drive from the water." "Mom," Dot said with a giggle. The Queen was relieved that everyone was safe. She even congratulated Dot and Flick on their quick thinking. "It just goes to show you," said Flick, "a few big ideas can go a long way." So that's the end of our story. So I'll see you next time on Fun with Riley, and goodbye.